What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Impact Wrestling review, the Fallout show from Bound for Glory last Saturday. Just want to say, if you have not checked out my review, please check out my review of Bound for Glory. 2021 last Saturday, a lot going on. Obviously, a new world champion was crowned, many title changes and whatnot, so check that review out. But we are still in Vegas right now, and we do kick it off with the new world champion, Moose, coming out. Moose came out, he was about to do a promo, but next thing you know, Eddie Edwards comes out then, basically brawls with Moose. Moose and him basically brawl the ringside up the stage. Security guards end up dragging Eddie Edwards away. Moose ended up getting back in the ring and to do his promo, basically saying he's done a lot of bad things to get where he is today. He said he tried to break the neck of what he called his best friend and whatnot. And he's probably, he did the worst at Bound for Glory by taking everything away from Josh Alexander, to have everything he worked hard to get. And he just did it in front of his wife and his child, and he's got no sympathy for him, okay? Because he has the title, what makes him the best world champion in the industry. Basically, he said it doesn't matter if you're elite or belong to a tribe with a chief, a boss, a man, a woman, king, queen, or even if a new day is added of the week, I'm still the greatest champion in wrestling, as he said. And if you think that's vile and evil for what I've done, you don't know what I'll do to hold on to this title. But before he could even continue, Josh Alexander basically came from out of nowhere then. He attacked Moose. Moose ended up going to the crowd. Next you know, Minoru Suzuki comes out. Minoru Suzuki making his Impact debut. Honestly, Minoru Suzuki has been in so many companies in his America tour right now. It has been enjoyable, and I've enjoyed every second of it because I have no idea where he is going to show up. Like I said, it doesn't matter if it's Impact, AEW, GCW, Bloodsport, or New Japan Strong, or I don't know. Minoru Suzuki is just everywhere, and it's been very, very enjoyable. I wish, and I'm not going to put the crowd on this. I think it's production and whatnot because I don't think it was loud, as they said people were in the crowd out there. But when Suzuki came out, of course, he gets, Katse Ninare thing. He ends up looking at Josh Alexander and then turns him around for ignoring him. They both brawled in until security comes out and breaks it up. So, very good first segment, especially with Moose being a new world champion. And, of course, Josh still coming back after his title. Eddie Edwards wanting a piece of him. So, we are setting up opponents for him next now. And Suzuki just shows up out of nowhere. So, Suzuki is here, folks. One thing I've heard in the past couple days now, I guess this whole Impact and AEW partnership is over. Maybe that's given why Christian Cage did drop the belt last Saturday and whatnot. Honestly, this whole partnership, if it's really over, I would say for the time being right now, I think it's kind of best for that in a way. Yes and no, because yes, I get with Omega being on the show. I know buy rates went up, especially when Hard to Kill happened, and maybe more people did watch the show. But the problem is, it was that a lot of this was very one-sided, and it was mostly on AEW. And the only people who really saw on Impact were, okay, Kenny Omega is Kenny Omega. He's the world champion. We did see Private Party, which was new for a second, but come on, Matt Hardy was already there. But, come on, who else really showed up? And here's the thing. Who from Impact really ever showed up on AEW? I'm serious. The Good Brothers? That's all that was really there. They only needed them because, the Elite. Yes, you have the tag titles on there, but who else was really on AEW from Impact? Because I've said it many times. It's not AEW's job to promote their show or anything, but at least, hey, Omega's fighting on one of your pay-per-views, at least talk about it a little, or have Rich Swann show up, have Sami Callihan do a run, and at least remind people, like, hey, watch Hard to Kill, watch Slammiversary, watch something, like, at least kind of, explain what's going on, have someone pop up, or even when they did that 6-man many months ago back in January, I believe it was, with Sabin, I know after Shelley got hurt, I believe, but, Sabin and Moose were going against Omega and the Good Brothers, like, I just felt like it was never really promoted. And don't get me started on the whole Jacksonville Dixie, Tony Khan promos, basically burying the shit out of Impact every week until they had moved to Tuesdays and whatnot. Because it's all, unfortunately, a lot of that shit was true. But, I was like, man, why are we doing these? Like, infomercials like, hey, make sure you watch AEW tomorrow night and whatnot. Not once did we ever really see an Impact like promo or something like, hey, come watch our show and whatnot. It was just very one sided. And I think a lot of people also had a problem with Christian winning the belt. I was up and down on it, but I think people wanted someone from, you know, the actual roster of Impact Wrestling to beat Omega for the title. Okay, especially on their show. Yes, it was on the AEW show. It was on Rampage, and the crowd popped and whatnot. And yes, you had Scott D'Amore show up a couple times, but couldn't have been someone that was a homegrown Impact talent. You know, give them the rub. Some say it should have been Josh Alexander versus Kenny Omega at Bound for Glory, and I would have been cool with that too. And whatnot. But I don't know. They said they were using, I don't know, Tony Khan used political power or something. That same thing with the whole AAA Mega title with that Andrade winning that belt and whatnot. So it's a lot of reasons to say why a lot of this was very one sided. And I even kind of wondered, like, how is this really helping the company and whatnot? It is in some type of ways, yes, but I just felt like everything was one sided. It just like, and what happened to Christopher Daniels? Didn't Christopher Daniels show up on AEW? I mean Impact. What happened to that whole thing? That kind of like came and gone. All right, and he kind of showed up a little bit beforehand. Before Bound for Glory. So tell me, what happened to Christopher Daniels showing up? That's a good question. Is he still around, or what happened to that whole thing? Because that's something to actually talk about too. Because we had a lot of Impact originals come back. Well, maybe two of them, but shit, I was almost expecting Sting to show back up on Impact again. So it's a lot. It's a lot to say about this whole partnership and whatnot. And I just kind of felt like sometimes a lot of, come on, we never even saw the knockouts even. I've said before, the knockouts would have outshined the damn AEW women's division during that time, because you have way better people. Like, I know they got Kiera Hogan now, but if you had her, Fire and Flavor, or Deonna Purrazzo, or Sue Young, which I think is better than Abaddon and whatnot, or Decay, or I'm just naming names right now. Ace Austin, Callahan, yeah, like I said, Swan, Moose, all those guys. And then, like, when they had Against All Odds, when they had Moose versus Kenny Omega, they did it at Daly's place, but it was like well, it was already empty, but it's on a Saturday and it was taped. So I thought it should have been live. I really did. So I don't know, man. It's a lot to really say about the whole partnership. I know I'm going off track of the review, but that's something that kind of be said, since that's been the whole thing of the so-called partnership ending. I think it'll come back in time, but you got to do more than just put the fucking Good Brothers on AEW, because you never saw anyone else. All right, so that tells you something. It really does. So just think about that for a second. But we do move on with the show, and Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown look like they were somewhere in a room, I guess, away from the crowd and whatnot. At least they weren't in a green screen room this time. But they did talk about what's going on tonight. Moose talked about he's got a target on his back now, and he can handle any target. Matt Cardona said, I was this close to beating you with that Call Your Shot Battle Royale. But Moose, it was this close. And, this close doesn't win titles. Cardona ended up brawling with him then. And, security had to break them up then. Trey Miguel, I do like his kind of Spider-Man spray paint thing going on. Went against Rocky Romero for the X Division title. Good match. Rocky, New Japan and whatnot. Not bad at all. Trey Miguel ended up getting the win with the Meteora and whatnot. Right after Steve Macklin came out and attacked, which I kind of figured he would in a way. Given he was not pinned last Saturday at Bound for Glory. But a good match for Trey Miguel and whatnot. Next, Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. I know they had that digital media title and whatnot. Basically, she doesn't know how this title will be defined, but she's going to use it for her social media presence. Tasha Steelz basically walked up, challenging them. I guess challenging Rachel Ellering later on the night. Steve Macklin, I guess, came from somewhere saying, like, I was not pinned. I want my match for the X Division title. He was not beaten, so basically he wants that title shot. But Scott D'Amore basically showed up saying, like, listen, you got to earn something. You're not owed, okay? And you'll get a chance to earn it next week. Got it? So he told Lee Long he's got a lot of chaotic stuff going around right now. Matt Cardona, Eddie Edwards show up, basically saying they want a shot at Moose and whatnot. And it's okay, you all can't get a shot. It's Josh Alexander, and you know what? All three of you are gonna be in a 6-man tag, and Moose is gonna have to find 2 different partners then. Then right after, Josh Alexander's attacking the referee from Bound for Glory, saying why would he call that match? Why would he ring the bell? Basically screwing him and his family. But Nomura basically said, listen, you will get your hands on Moose, and you'll get on a tag team, but you cannot lose focus right now. You'll basically be proving Christian right about controlling your emotions. So you are a machine, but you can't run off of emotion. All right, you need to just keep your emotions in check. Do it for your family. All right. So Scott D'Amore just running up all over the place. I see tonight. Rachel Ellering went against Tasha Steelz. Ellering won with like a roll up. Nothing much to say right here. Sometimes I forget Rachel Ellering is even there half the time. I don't know why. I just kind of forget she's there. W. Morrissey showed up, talking about he's not here to make friends, and he know he made an alliance with Moose. And, you know, when it got convenient for Moose, he did what he did, and now he's the world champion. That's the belt he wants. But Moose showed up, listen, I know you gave your word, wasn't that? And we would eventually turn on each other, but I screwed you before you screwed me, but I need you to team with me next week. You do this, you'll be first in line for the title. The Inspiration was interviewed. Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay, the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions, talked about, you know, they're going to inspire the division and whatnot, okay? So, basically, if it's the Iconics, but that's saying iconic and whatnot, it's inspire and stuff. And they basically told Gia Miller to go away. So, at least we did hear from the Inspiration tonight. Joe Doring went against Heath. Basically matching up in a no contest, get basically a DQ and whatnot. But you know, Eric Young got in the ring. Rhino was gonna attack him, but Rhino went for Diener. Eric Young didn't, took him down with a big clothesline. Basically now Eric Young is healed. He's healthy again. As everyone knows, he had like a torn ACL, I believe, all the way back in January. So he's been out for a good damn near 9-10 months now at this point. It's just, you know, Eric Young's still been on TV, but now Eric Young is back. He did an elbow drop. He even did his pile driver. As followed by his line, stood tall, beating up Rhino and Heath then. So good to see Eric Young back on, back in the game and whatnot. So he is healthy. The Good Brothers talked about retaining titles. Finju showed up saying, like, listen, we beat you before, and we can beat you again. So Good Brothers didn't want to hear it and walked off. The Kiss Demon from WCW is still here for some reason. Johnny Swinger showed up basically, hey, you tried to swerve me and whatnot, okay? You need to go back to with your kind and whatnot. Basically, the K showed up, and then, you know, demons are welcome here in Impact, as the Kiss Demon said. Next, Mickie James came out, the new Knockouts champion. Talk about she's been on Cloud 9 since Bound for Glory, and she never really planned to get the Knockouts title back when she returned at Slammiversary. But, you know, hey, the opportunity presented itself, and she wanted to congratulate Deonna, because that's probably her toughest opponent, and she knows that Deonna gets a rematch, but we haven't seen her since Bound for Glory. But she talked about a lot of knockouts from Knockouts Knockdown and a lot of potential opponents. So I guess if anybody wants to challenge, come on. Madison Rayne came out. I don't know why Tennille Dash was music for some reason. But Madison Rayne saying, congratulations. All right. And, you know, you want to talk about some of the cornerstones in this division, from Gail Kim to Austin Khan to Mickie James and Madison Rayne herself. But she says she never gets credit for what she's done in the division, because Mickie wants to go around jumping companies and whatnot. I stayed here to cultivate this division, all right, a world class. But Mickie James says, what about those 2-3 times you, left and came back and whatnot? But Madison said, don't get comfortable as champion, because I want a shot at the title. Mickie accepted it, and Madison Rayne basically said, because next week I will become a 5-time Knockouts champion. Caleb Conley tried to, I guess, get Mickey's face. Mickie slapped her and slapped him, and they basically left in after that. So, yeah, Madison Rayne and Mickie James next week. What else we had here? Morrissey and Moose looking for a third tag partner. They end up walking into Minoru Suzuki, so he will join them next week. Ace Austin went against Chris Sabin. Very good main event, I should say. Sabin, I know still, what was it, that call your shot thing and whatnot. Ace, honestly, he kind of needs the win right here. Ace has been getting beat a lot lately, especially from Christian and Josh Alexander. So at least he got a win over Sabin and whatnot. So a very good main event, though, at the end of the day. So Yeah, Ace Austin got the win. Overall, pretty good show and whatnot. I am glad it's a different crowd this time. I know we haven't really been anywhere in over a year and a half, or damn near two, mostly due to the pandemic, and they've been stuck in Nashville this entire time. But now it's good to see them in a different set of scenery, and in Vegas at Sam's Town. Usually when they've gone to Sam's Town, it looks very bad because I say during TV tapings, it just looks like people are there, but it looks like either the crowd is dead or I felt like, nothing, like it was something still happening, but I don't know, like, wasn't a lot of people. This time, I guess, due to Bound for Glory and whatnot, there was a lot of people, and I think this crowd was more livelier also. So, a very enjoyable show tonight from Impact. So, yes, the fallout from Bound for Glory pretty much done from there. Obviously, Moose has, I guess, a lot of people coming after the title right now, so we'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, other than that, I'm out of here. Comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. I'm out of here. Hooded Night 890. Peace, and have a happy and safe Halloween. Out.